Mimosas, welcome back, mimosas maravillosas, to episode 19 of the Phoenix Priestess podcast. It has been a while. So, 19, episode 19 in numerology uh, breaks down to 10. 10 breaks down to 1. 1 in numerology is the I am number. It's the Aries sign in the zodiac. It is the first sign that is willing to come here on earth and say, I am that I am. And I am. It's that I am sign of I am one. I am one inside of myself, and I am one with all. After Pisces being the last sign in the zodiac. And why am I saying, why am I starting off like this? Because I have been wanting to record this podcast for a couple of weeks now, right after I heard Rosalia, the beautiful Spanish modern mystic muse. Ella es la mami musa. I will explain a little bit later, but she by far, I believe, is for our younger generations. She literally is the mami musa. She is the young mystic soul who has incarnated to share with the masses how beautiful it is to be alive in this modern era and to be alive with our divinity and our humanity and how to just love the paradoxes of life. And I have been awestruck at her latest album. So obviously, this is a shout out to her latest album, Lux, which is her fourth album. And her album is broken up into four parts. And four in numerology is like the Saturn, the structure, the structure number, and it represents Virgo. Think of like the Virgo energy, where there are four seasons. Virgo is the zodiac sign that just loves order, loves to make beauty of the mundane, like in the structures. And so today, as you can hear, I'm going to be playing with our soul mandalas. I'm going to be teaching you through Rosalia's soul mandala, a little bit through mine, so you can start to become more intimate with yours. So you can receive some soul salve to support you in your own soul remembrance journey, and knowing that we each came in this beautiful vessel of a body of ours in this lifetime on this earth with these specific codes that when you look at them all together, the four sacred systems that I use for now, I mean, there's so many. There's from the Enneagram to the Akashic records. The ones that I use mostly and that I have been using, I would say that I started off probably with the archetypal medicine. And that was a couple of decades ago. So a very long time ago through Carolyn Myss. And obviously, Carolyn Myss is an elder mystic in the United States. And she's known for her global mysticism teachings. And I'd say she was really my first real life mystic mentor where I would buy her books, I would buy her online courses, and I would use that to support me in my own journeying and making sense of what this all means. And so I use archetypal medicine, I use astrology, I use numerology and human design. For me, numerology is like, so I kind of see it as the cross, and the archetypal system is at the top of our head. It's those roles that we chose in this lifetime, these sacred contracts that we chose to embody and live out to our fullest. And living them out brings this peace and brings this soul satiation through our being. And so they're not only played out in one area of our life. For example, I'm not a mystic just in my work life. I'm a mystic as a mom. I'm a mystic in my art. I'm a mystic in how I relate to others. I'm a mystic in how I hermit. And I hermit and I am a mystic. And both of those are actually two different archetypes. But the ones, one of my main ones is my mystic archetype and my great mother archetype. And I know I've mentioned this in previous episodes, but today I'm diving in a little bit more. And astrology, I kind of see it more of the right hand, so the right side of the body, the masculine, like seeing these beautiful codes that are embedded um, through the galaxy, through the sacred system that gives us, it like gives us these tools in how to see our everyday lives with more reverence and with like, oh, this is the energetic of what's happening collectively. Like the energy is giving me that. Now, what can I do with that energy? What can I be with that energy? And for me, human design, it really came a couple of years back where when I started to study it, and I started to study it. So, how I study these sacred systems is I first start to see the themes in my own life, and then I start to see how they're played out in the daily with my beloveds, specifically with my three children and with my husband. And then I go also to the, outside with my clients, with my friends, with community, with my parents, with et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. With the collective, like when you see people, politicians or it can be anybody, and you're seeing, you're sensing that energy. Um, if we were to speak in the sacred, if we were to continuously ask for the sacred guidance to the why of what we're seeing externally, like what is that it's wanting to teach us in this moment, in what area of our lives, for the highest good of us, so we can be in service of love as we take action, as we speak words, as we reframe our beliefs. And so these sacred systems help in every single area of your life. For me, human design, it feels in my own being, this is just my own interpretation of how I love to like literally see things, like give them life form. And so for me, the cross came to me when I was kind of studying these sacred systems and how to like ground them in my body. And when I realized that my firstborn daughter was a projector and I am a generator, and that is also one of the reasons why she is constantly needing to be by me, to like need from me, because the projector is fed by the generator, is fed by the energy of the manifesting generator. And so they need that like a leech, like moss on a tree. Like they need like the ivies, like they need that so they can refuel. And it also, already been working for decades, and I know I've shared this before. I'd already been working for a long time. That feeling that I would get of rejection in my skin and in my body because of her energy and her passion and her fiery Leo self. And it was years of me reclaiming my repressed passions, my repressed anger, my repressed feelings that she brought to my surface in the regards of triggers in my skin. Literally, like I would get like it's too much, like I can't handle this right now, like all of this that I had to work through layer through layer through layer. But now in this era where I have done so much healing and she is more fully embodied as just a beautiful 17-year-old young lady, so filled in and by herself, um, that it's so beautiful for me now to see through the lens of human design. As her being a projector, I have to constantly throughout the day just kind of gauge where I am energetically and just name it to her. Hey, Juju, right now I woke up really quiet. And I can feel her energy immediately. And I'm telling her this in this moment because I can see how she's excited and she wants to tell me, or she wants to ask me, and she wants to be with me. And I'm seeing how my energy is low. So it's my task as a generator to give myself what I love, what my body loves and needs, because generators need to follow, and especially sacral generators, they need to follow their yeses. So if I need to be quiet, then that's a yes. If I need to go into nature and then reconnect with her later on in the afternoon, then that's a yes. But I have to continuously honor, because if not, I'm depleting myself. I'm becoming resentful, which is what happens to generators who who's not self-themed. Like if I'm not giving myself satisfaction, then at some moment the resentment is going to start to build and build and build. And so those little nuances, and the knowing that she's a Leo, right? Knowing that she in her sun sign is a Leo, but then she in her moon and in her rising, she is Pisces. So she's very watery. She's very sensitive. She is a dreamer at heart completely. And at the same time, her North Node is in Aquarius, which means that she is here to be a change maker in the collective, to bring so Aquarius is an air sign, and that sign, if you have it in your North Node, my husband has it too, and hello, he works in the web, and in sharing and democratizing and like helping people to simplify, and he's just like amazing at what he does, but it's through the ethers, through the communication in the ethers. And right now with AI and with what is happening collectively, just think of that's the ether energy, Aquarius. And why am I saying this? Is because she, my daughter, Aquarius, she's always inclined to work with groups, because Aquarius energy is the humanitarian sign as well, that it's here to bring back more community and more communion between communities. That said, like, it's that sign brings democracy, but for me, more it's that communion and that like togetherness, and let's do this, and it's for the greatest good energy. And so I use all of these sacred signs to actually not only support my life, but support my clients, and especially my mystic mamas, to be able to see with like a hawk's eye, with precision, what is happening in their daily lives, to actually see the greater mandala, to see the what do you call it? Not the narrow view, but the long, there's a word like the meta, right? Not the micro, but the macro in every situation. And so let me share with you a little bit about Rosalia, because this podcast really um, was a shout out to her. That's that's the um, that's the insight that came through and why I wanted to record this shout out. First of all, gracias, Rosalía. Rosalía, me has tocado el corazón hasta el fondo. No sabes, me has inspirado. Em, de verdad que eres la mami musa mística, maravillosa, que está recordando su esencia y compartiendo esa divinidad con todo el mundo. Gracias, gracias, gracias. So, Rosalia, complete shout out. If anybody ever listens to this, if Rosalia ever gets her hands on this, Rosalia, obviously, I'd love to gift you a soul mandala reading. Not only that, but just know, as a little bit of an older mystic than you, I'm here to support you in any area that you need. So a total shout out to Rosalia. Um, Just because, let me explain. When she, her album, I believe, was it October 7th? I don't know. It was a couple of weeks ago. I was deep in cocooning mode. I have been for the last couple of weeks. I am at I'm at 9 3/4 with my books. My books have yet to have an actual date of when they launch. So stay tuned on my website, stay tuned here. Just go to my website as often as you'd like to see when the updates are. Know that I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook. I don't do newsletters. All of those as a sacral generator, I realized, and somebody who's been working with women and mothers for decades, that those were clear no's. I've done them. I've tried them. They're a no for my system. Sharing with you all here is a yes. Sharing with you all through my YouTube channel when I feel inspired is a yes. I am a yoga teacher at heart. Yoga teachers, when they teach, I was about to say real yoga teachers. We're all real yoga teachers, but let's get real, okay? Let's get real for all the teachers. Teachers that teach children, teachers that teach anything. Put aside the right, like technology. Real teaching is live teaching. It is a spontaneous transmission that happens in the moment. You can't relive it. You can't do it again. You can never say it twice the same. After teaching yoga and meditation and workshops and all types of teacher like things, it's a different experience when you're allowing yourself to be just moved and to share what comes through as is without shame, because you're really, when you're in the moment, when you're in your body, when you're loving being in your body, that's a shout out to Rosalia's human design incarnation cross. I'm coming. When you love being in your body and you practice the love of being in your body moment by moment, day by day, it's not about being perfect, but when you do that practice, you're okay with the imperfections. You're okay with just showing yourself as you are. So, this is a shout out to all of us throughout our days when we're just being ourselves, when we're not doing it to perform, we're not doing it for the likes, we're not doing it to look at ourselves and judge ourselves or compare ourselves to another. We're just doing it for the love of what we're doing. So, keep doing what you love to do for the sake of the love of doing it, of letting it do you. I have this new phrase that it's, you don't have to just do it, right? The famous Nike quote that is amazing. You don't have to just do it. This is my take on it recently and what I'm trying to embody. You don't have to just do it. Let it do you. Let it do you means that communion, that ecstatic surrender when we surrender in the moment. And it's not a passive surrender, it's an active one, but we're surrendering for life to move through us, through through a real moment moving through us, not something that is rehearsed, not something again that is performative, but something that just needs to come out, just like a small child until the age of 7. I'd say younger than that for many of them, depending on our upbringings. But just notice the spontaneity, the authenticity of small children. That's the energy that I'm speaking to. So I totally got sidetracked, as I tend to do on these podcasts, and I just love it. So I'm like saying that to actually help to remember where I was, which was I have been in cocooning. So I have been in cocooning state, and Rosalia's album has been my anthem in these last couple of weeks of finalizing everything that needs to be done with the books, internally holding myself and my little inner girl, um, and her fears and supporting her and my system, my nervous system, my health. There's been a couple of issues coming up, not issues, but there's a couple of layers coming up, and just a share for all of us that are sharing ourselves in whatever way. When we do share ourselves more, if not more publicly, if when we share ourselves in a new way, it is terrifying. There is fear. I have this poem that I won't remember, but I think one of the lines is, and with this fear, I take the madly in love mystery pill, something like that, which means that we don't have to do away with our fear. We don't have to do anything with the fear, right? Remember the just do it. You don't have to just do anything to it. Let it do you as you're holding it. Let the energy of your alchemical desires, let it be activated and renewed in a new way within you. So, Rosalia's album has been medicine, has been complete soul self. And Rosalia, so Rosalia, as we know, I'm going to do a little like a super mini. I can't do a full mini soul mandala share. Number one, because she's not here with me. Like number two, I didn't ask her. Number three, I don't know if she wants it. Number four, I can't pinpoint because on the internet, there is no exact time that I found of her birth date. Good for her. So we're just speculating because both in human design and I work with sidereal and tropical astrology. I'm really playing with both now. I used to just work with tropical astrology, and my own astrologer really helped me and motivated me to start learning more about sidereal astrology. So I actually compare both of them, and I sit with my beautiful mystic muse to see how both of them are being played out in different moments in their lives and in different ways. So, not attaching that one is better than the other, but rather how to use both. So, my dears, with numerology and with Rosalia, and with me starting off that this was episode 19 and number one, she, of course, is a number one life path number, which is that Aries fire energy of like, I will go first. And hello, she goes first. In every album, in every song, she is willing to literally, like a shapeshifter, become a new, beautiful, a nude version of Rosalia. And that is the essence of the number one. The number one, the leader, the number one, the one that says yes, the number one that says, I am so beautiful. I am the first buds bursting through spring. Like, how beautiful am I? Um, and in numerology, she is a public persona, which means this year and her public persona are actually a number seven. Oh my gosh. So, number seven is for me, it's the Christ consciousness number. If you just even look at it like number seven, and you do, like, if you look at it and you do it within like the cross, vertically and horizontally, you'll understand it. Like I said, I like to visualize things like literally like give them life. So the number seven, imagine that the vertical line is your line with God, your line with the divine. And the horizontal line is the line on earth. It's the line that goes through the body, that has to go inside. Her north node in astrology, I believe, I might get this wrong, but I believe is a Sagittarius. Sagittarius, a fire sign is, and it is, if I'm not mistaken, yep, it's the last one. So it's the last zodiac sign. It's Aries, Leo, Sag. And when I see the zodiac, every time you get to the last one, I always see it in the ethers. Like, check this out. Aquarius, the last air sign, communication in the ethers, air, right? Air, your voice, everything that comes out to be spoken to be shared with others. Um, like that's the wind, right? We listen to music, we speak out. The winds of change help our body to see in the fall, help us see that there's a new something that is coming. So in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is the last, and we are in Sag season right now. Sagittarius is that last fire sign that helps us to travel. It is the traveler sign. Everybody sees it as like Sagittarians love to travel, and they do. Hello, I actually have in my tropical astrology chart, I have rising in Sag. And the truth is I hate traveling in this era of my life. But the thing is I'm also a 6-2 profile in human design, which means, and I have a moon in Cancer. And so when you get to like understand all of these nuances where I could feel myself, I could shame myself, or why am I not engaging anymore with my spiritual healing community? Why am I not traveling to learn more? Why am I not, wanting to travel with my family? Like literally, these are all real life things that are happening, that have been happening to me. And it's because I've come to love and understand who I am in essence, what my soul mandala is. And when we really get to see our soul mandala, it's as if we're looking at ourselves in the mirror for the first time, truly. And it's not just somebody else is seeing us. Like, when you get, I love getting, I only get a few readings. I have one astrologer, I have one constellation therapist that I go to from time to time, only when I'm really, really needing it. But the way I support my beautiful mystic muses is in teaching them how to be in relationship with it. It's not about me being their continual teacher. It's about me giving them the permission to literally just say, I actually have my own permission. Like Jimena doesn't have to give me the permission. She's sharing with me some tools and techniques, but ultimately it's about me seeing my beautiful soul filled self through these sacred themes and these sacred systems that are here to support me. And believe me, my life completely changed from me continuously wanting to be fed by other teachers, to be fed by other mystics, to be fed by other shamans, to be fed by others books, others workshops, others. I mean, it was perfect for when it was, but then it was this inward pull of how do I get more intimate with myself? How do I honor my own intuition? How do I honor my own claircognizance? How do I, my clairaudience, that I hear things, that I feel and know things through my intuition? Like, how do I honor these things? How do I honor that in this area of my life, I need to be alone most of the time and quiet most of the time? How do I honor that being a mother? How do I honor that being a wife? How do I honor that being having parents, having people around me that still want to connect with me? But how do I honor myself through each and every season? And so um, these sacred systems are such gifts. And in Rosalia, her public persona being a number 7, and this year being a number 7, she's literally saying, I am here to share Christ's consciousness on this earth, in this era, in this year. So in numerology, we move from 1 to 10, and then we go again and again and again. So, um, so for example, next year she'll be in a number 8 year. Like you just you add up her her day, like the day where she was born, her month, and then the year, like this year. Her public persona, you just add the day of this is how you get yours. Your your number, right, of your birthday, the actual day, and then the number. That's it. And for her, they actually match. And so, what a beautiful sacred alignment that we're seeing, that she took 3 years to journey inside of her to actually, and that's what I was saying about vertically, the number seven, you go inward, the Sag area, the Sagittarius sign. People think that Sag is about traveling outwards. It can be, and it is. But think of it this way: when you travel outside of yourself, something inside of yourself is changed. So you can also travel inside of yourself ethereally. I mean, yeah, that's actually what mystics love to do. And so we see her this year, like this year, her coming out and sharing this album, we see how radiant she is in her number seven public persona, where she is willing to go and travel inward and go deeper within herself, her own intuition, her own spirituality, her own connection with her soul, her own connection with her body and her life, and share with us through her art that sacred message that is so uniquely hers to share, right? Her number one, her life path number. It's super unique. It will always be unique. So you have to expect that every time she is like a chameleon, she's going to be rebirthed. She's going to be rebirthed again and again and again. Um, in the archetypal system, for me, she is a mystic through and through. I mean, you can feel her energy in her interviews. I've seen, I'd say, almost all of them, probably. The Spanish, and since I speak Spanish, I've gotten to see her Spanish ones and her English ones. And what I feel that I wanted to share, mystics out there, is there's a there's almost like there's a humbleness and a humility that comes the more we go inside as mystics to honor each other and all of our different paths. And so you can see her every time she's like coming into a space to be recognized and to be seen and to be validated and to be celebrated and to be invited to speak. Feel her energy when she walks into a space. There's so much graciousness. And again, it's that number seven quality. There's an inward, a very intimate, and shy is not the word, but it's a very intimate and quiet and beautiful, beautiful energy that comes to her coming out to share with others and to speak with others. And if you see in her interviews, she's not claiming that she has like the way for everybody. She's not saying you have to do it this way or that way. She's literally singing in 13 languages. She's literally speaking through the wounds and the paradoxes and the humanity and the pain of these mystics and her life and our life. She's giving us soul salve to know that there is so much beauty in death. There is so much beauty in the darkness. There is so much beauty in suffering and in the paradoxes. And we can still be mystics. We are not, she's literally bringing the mystic down, down from the pedestal that the previous mystic generations have put us on. She's not a mother yet, but she is a mother to her community and to herself. So you see that mother energy coming through for her at her 33 years old self, which is gorgeous to see because it's equalizing, right? Remember when I said Aquarius energy? It's equalizing. It's saying, I'm not above you, but I'm here with you. I have something to share with you. I have something to gift you in moments where you feel like you need to go within. It's okay. I'm willing to travel there and share so you can feel like you're not alone. Um, so her beautiful mystic literally is out. And it's not only out, you can see that she, if you know a little bit about her background, she, I believe, separated from her partner, Raul Alejandro, which shout out, amazing singer. My daughter loves him. My middle daughter adores him. Um, and when they broke up, she was going through her Saturn return. Now, Saturn is it's the sacred devotee uh, in astrology. It's it's the planet that shows us how to devote our daily lives and our daily rituals to the sacred, to become devoted disciples um, with discipline. And like the discipline is that it's like the devotion, the sacred devotion to serve what is sacred in our everyday lives. And her in our Saturn returns. So if you check in your life, check to see when you were 28, 29, 30, 31, like around that age, if something big happened. Did you have a child? Did you change careers? But basically, it's a time where it's a reevaluation. So if it's about structures, you might have to restructure a relationship. You might have to end a relationship. And what she began to do is when she ended that relationship, and she probably did it before then, so only she knows, right? When it started for her. But I can see in her energy where she more intimately became the embodiment of her Libra sun sign. So in tropical and sidereal astrology, she has a lot of Virgo, a lot of Libra. Um, she has Aquarius. Let me double check. Um, Capricorn. And so let's speak Capricorn because Capricorn is the last earth sign, the last earth sign in the zodiac, and it's the sacred masculine, and it's the builder, and it's the one who knows how to get shit done and become the public persona where others are like, damn it, that that person is just like the shit. They're amazing. They know, they're like the boss bitch, right? Um, Male or female. And check out how she completely restructures her life in these different eras where she came out with these albums. In the first album that she came out, it was literally like her PhD in her music school, and it literally became our gift. I mean, come on now. Like it's for her gift was for the greater good. It wasn't just for her and for her degree, which she got. Um, and Capricorns are hard workers. Like they're the ones who are willing to do the hard work. Um, but in this new one, in this new album, and her from her Saturn return for 3 years going inward, it shows that there is a complete restructuring in her daily commitments. And in essence, you've heard me speak about this, but having your sun in Libra, and in essence, what I love to share with us about Libra, if you have any Libras in your life, there's a lot of talk about codependency. There's a lot of talk about harmony with that sign. But my take on Libra is that Libra is here to show us how to love God. Like at the core, that's who they want to love. They want to love God. They want to love their art. They want to love their transmissions that they receive through God, through their art. And they want to share that because it's an air sign and think it's the middle air sign. It's before Aquarius. Remember how I said the third sign, it's like the collective, right? The ethers. Think that the middle sign, each middle sign in the zodiac is the interrelational. And that's why Libra is known as like the Democrat, the bringing of harmony. It's because they're standing right in front of the other. They know about they know about the other. It's not just about the I, it's not about the you, it's about what we are going to create together through the love of God. And so we can see in this album in Rosalia how her intimacy with her own sacredness and the sacredness of life and of God has gifted her even more depth and even more recognition of how beautiful it is. And that's actually one of the things that most hit me to the core of her speaking to that love of God and her prayers and her chants and her affirmations and her, my God, her modern riffs, like how she can come up with those things. They really are touching. And that's because she's touching our hearts. She's touching places inside of our souls that recognize that unity in love and with love and for love. And so her having Virgo, if see, I remember how I said you have to kind of be accurate. So I'm just kind of assuming, right? I'm assuming because I don't have her exact timing. And I played around with some different versions of what it could look like. Um, but it does seem that she does have Virgo in her moon. And her moon, her internal world of bringing that sacred service. Virgo is, she's the healer. She's the one. She's the opposite of Pisces. So she's willing to Pisces in a past. You know, the Virgo also has Pisces. So in a past life or in our being, we already have people who have Virgo in different places, specifically in different places in their charts. And they have kind of understood, they have experienced the teachings of Pisces in their being. They're now here to actually manifest it through the vehicle of her body. And having her moon in Virgo and her internal world be ruled by Virgo, um, by Venus, by Virgo. Um, it's gorgeous because you know she's gifting us that order, right? That like every time she transforms, she gives us a new tool. She gives us her next number, right? This is her album number 4. Um, and she's a healer. She's a healer. She's a mystic who's here to remind us of our wholeness, and healing at the core is coming into our wholeness, coming into our knowing that both dark and light are part of our whole being. And so I'm going to just dab a little bit in her human design chart, just a tad bit, because it's a whole other world. And again, I don't have her birth time. Shout out Rosalia, or anybody ever listening to this, send this to her. Rosalia, llámame querida, con mucho gusto aquí siempre estaré para ti. Um, so, okay, I'm seeing 2 options: generator, 5-1, projector, 6-2. It could be, it could be something else. But when I felt into the energy of those, generator, hello, generator. Generators are are here to be in the resonance of their energy that sparks life in order to be that mirror to others to do what they love. So they're the ones who are inspiring others, say, do what you love. You know, not just do it, but like do what you love and let it do you, right? Um, and 5-1, hello, Taylor Swift has a 5-1. And just think of those beautiful beings who can literally like flick their fingers and say, like, community, I am here for you. And I'm going to take you on a journey. And you are going to stay with me because I am here to serve you and to literally satiate your being like you could never by yourself. Because the one, the profile 5-1, the one, again, it's willing to experiment and go inside, and it needs that inside time to actually hear these messages, feel them, and actually share them with their community. So it would totally make sense. And her ability to just know, like when you see her in the interviews, like she just, you just feel that she knows, like she knows through her body, like what is a yes and a no. Like she doesn't waffle, and she's very clear in her being of her yeses and nos. Now she's a projector and she's a 6-2. My God. So the projector, again, she could, in these last couple of years of just being so, though, so projector is like the sage seer. That's how I see the projector. They're sages. They're stewards of truth. They're teachers. They're here to actually ignite a teaching for us. Like they literally have this teaching and they're in that ignition of that teaching, and they're here to say, like, I am a sage, I see this and I want to share, I want to share my way. um, and so projectors also need a lot of inward time. And if she's a 6-2, it would totally make sense, because 6-2s from their 30th year until around their 50th year, I'm a 6-2, um, they go inward. And so they only come out when they feel like they need to and they have something to share. And then they go back in. In human design, they call it, they go back up into the roof. I see it now as a lighthouse or as a mystic on a mountain or a hermit on a hill. Notice that the mystic goes up so they can see the greater, the macro view, right? Of the ocean, of the mountain, of the city. It's like the shaman, the shaman energy, where the shaman goes back away from like the collective. They need to go back and up. Um, and she went in for 3 years. She went in. She went, she went silo. She didn't go missing, but she went inward. She went inward and she went far. Remember Sag, and remember her number 7? They're all interrelated. So if she has a 6-2, then team, all I have to say, mimusas, like get ready. If she is a 6-2 for the next 20 years, almost 20 years, 17 years, around there, she is going to be surprising us at the core over and over again, when and if she chooses to keep coming back to share her beautiful musings with the masses. She's literally going to do upgrades. She's going to help us be that vehicle of mystical upgrades for the modern mystic. And so get ready, get ready. I'm so ready. I'm so ready. And I'm just loving her. I'm just loving her energy. I'm loving, it's also the knowing and the teaching that age is just a number. At her 33 years, she is so wise and so deep and such an old soul and such a courageous, her number one, right? Her number one life path number, such a courageous being to put herself front and center for to serve us, because she's sharing her intimacies, her most vulnerable intimacies, our mystical, spiritual intimacies, shadows, fears, gifts are at the deepest part of ourselves. And she is one of those beings in this lifetime, in this era, that is willing to do that literally, like for the collective, that Leo energy, right? Front and center stage. Um, and so I wonder, I wonder like the Leo in her chart. But she's willing to do that and she does it so beautiful. So thank you. Gracias, Rosalia. So anyways, I would love to know which one she is. And again, aquí estoy, Rosalia. And the last thing that I wanted to share that was just so delicious. And yes, I have to say it because we have the same incarnation cross. It's the left angle cross of healing. And what I wanted to share in regards to that were two things, like two specific parts of having that incarnation cross, because it's a whole thing within itself, right? But number one, her her having the gift in the 46. So her one of her one of her greatest things that she gives us is the love that she has for her body. If you can see, and I've spoken about this before, mystics who share about ecstasy, ecstasy in their orgasmic spiritual awakenings, ecstasy in the daily, ecstasy in their words, ecstasy in the devotion, but ecstasy in the body. So, one of the things that I don't think is spoken about, and that's why I wanted to make this podcast, because what she is showing us is that it is okay to love our body. Like, like we don't have to reject those parts that feel fear, that feel comparison, that feel the darkness that we have participated in, even as mystics. What she's given light to is that you can also be a mystic and actually also have darkness within us. Being the mystic archetype, it doesn't it's not what they sold us in Hallmark movies. It's not. And so she's bringing back the love of being in our bodies, like hello, the beats, um, the words, the transmissions. It's all being about being embodied in her beautiful being. And she's mirroring that for us, for each and every one of us to love our bodies, to love where we came from, to love the roles that we're choosing, to love, to incarnate even more so our messages. So it's the bringing down into the body that mystic message, that the ecstasy isn't something that happens like in what we've been taught within our healing community, where it's like you want to evolve, you want to go up, you want to like free yourself, you want to become enlightenment. All of those words and phrases that I just said, they're beautiful. I honor them. I thank them. I do believe in them. And if I'm speaking at them just from the middle of my body upward, it's like a literally like like a dissociating energy where you just want to get out of here. You just want to go into like being in perfect la la land and not not honoring that there is pain, there is the choosing of suffering, but there is that feeling, however we call our own feelings, that is here on this earth in this body, and that is beautiful and that is sacred too. And so the 46 is an embodied, it's an embodied transmission. It's not about leaving this earth. It's about using that to share it. Like I said, the Aquarius energy to share it to the masses more collectively. Um, so that and the stillness. She also, with a gate of, with her incarnation cross. If you look in her music, and if you haven't listened to her album yet, she recommended to literally listen to it in a dark room while not doing anything else. That's brilliant. And that's so mystic. It's literally saying, do one thing at a time. Like life is precious, be present, damn it. Without her saying it that way. But that's what she's saying. She's saying, enjoy. I've gifted you this piece of art. So be with it. Be in your body while you're in it. I actually I listened to it lying down. I was tucked in. I had my eyes closed. I had my hands on my chest most of the time because I felt like I was going to bawl the whole time. And the first song that came on, my tears just started to roll down my face because I was already so moved within like just a couple of seconds. And so that is the stillness that she is able to transmit of distilling from our lives what no longer, serves us, being in stillness in order to hear, in order to sense and feel the sacred. So her stillness in her interviews, in her music now, you can feel the potency in it's like a sage stillness where you see this sage teacher and it's this grounding stillness. So that is a little bit of Rosalia. Thank you all so much for hearing. And you already heard a little bit more of my soul mandala. So this is a snippet of how I work in my one-on-one sessions with my beautiful mimusas, with my beautiful mystics, my beautiful muses. Um, I literally sit before a client. I sit and I open up all of these sacred systems. I sit with them. I sit with the energy of my client. I'm like I'm in the studying of it without like having to memorize it, but just like the energetic opening. And then I have a session with them. And so after our session, and I support them live on that session, right? Honoring what season they are in, not even setting the intention, but naming the intention of what season they're wanting to call forth. And most of the time, I mean, I'm not going to lie, most of them come to me in a fall and a winter, and they're wanting their spring back. They want to be able to be like, am I ever gonna like come out of this? And I'm here to remind them, you are, you are, you are. Um, if you are going through a big life transition, if you're needing mystic support, if you're going through a divorce, if you are no longer wanting to hold up the old structures that you held up without any shame or blame, but they're starting to die. You used to be an overgiver, you used to be a people pleaser, you used to work in some capacity, and now you want to work and share your art or your work in another capacity, in one that feels more alignment with you. There's a book wanting to be shared. There's you want your teacher to come out, and you want um, your healing gifts to be shared more publicly or in a different way. Um, if you're wanting to reconnect with your children and with your partner, with your husband, I also do family readings where I do the reading for the mom and the reading for the whole family. And um, I have a special with that, like a special price to do the whole family. But I only really do the mothers and the women first. So I don't just do readings for children, because as a mother myself and as a mystic, I have always, and shout out to Dr. Shafali Sabari, um, a dearly beloved teacher of mine that I learned from when I was in my beginning mothering journey and remothering myself, where like 99.99999, let's just say 100% of the time, it's never your child, it's you. So how about I support you with you, and then you can see with more clarity and with more love and openness and compassion and patience your child and the true essence of your child, and of your partner, so then you all can live in greater harmony. So I do support mamas in becoming more connected with their children, in reconnecting, in supporting, if there are things happening in their children's lives, of course we do. I do support them with that, but always from the lens of what is coming up for them first. So anyways, you have gotten a little taste of um, what it looks like to receive medicine from like through my lens of a soul mandala sacred activation share. And obviously it was like tidbits because I was sharing mine, I was sharing hers, I was speaking to you all. So when I'm speaking to my client, it's all about the client. It's all about all of your sacred systems and how they're interconnected in this moment in your life, and how I can support you to begin, or to reawaken, or to reconnect even more intimately with more aliveness with your own beautiful being in your body. And I'm always supporting my mamas. And then when after our session, you get this special, very long recording that has the summary of everything that I've shared, but more like tangibly. And then you get it written down, like all it's because I have my North Node in Virgo. I write down with you all of the sacred themes that you're working on in this era. Any prayers, any affirmations that came through, any theme, anything that you need to, or invitations like rituals, or any greater support with grounding, the practical tools with any of those sacred themes that came up. Um, and any meditation, any other thing that actually also arised from our session together, from my own sacred reading, because I take at least, so this whole journeying with my mystic, or with my mothers, um, the online session, it's on a Zoom session, it's 45 minutes. But that's not the total time in which we're together, because I spend a lot of time off of our call sitting with the energetic and making the recording, and making your rituals and your rituals and routines recipe for your rebirth. And then I also gift you a PDF that gives you kind of a holistic view, and that you can actually see. It is a beautiful lotus flower that includes all of your sacred themes, so you can see them. So you can see them, put them on your desk, frame it if you'd like, or make it small, or put it on a wallpaper, so you can see these sacred themes daily in your life, and you can begin to now live out with more intimacy and closeness, what it is to actually honor and love yourself in your own wholeness, in your own worthiness, just as you are. So you know where to reach me, my website. If you're interested, you can sign up there for your own soul mandala reading. If you have any questions, again, through my website, reach out to me. So much love, my beautiful. Thank you so much. Y gracias, Rosalia. Gracias del fondo de mi corazón. Gracias porque además, o sea, hablé de ti. O sea, hablé de ti, pero espero que te hayas sentido honrada y querida y celebrada, y que sepas que lo hice con mucho amor y desde el agradecimiento, por todo el trabajo que estás haciendo internamente para poder compartirnos esa magia que es tan propia tuya, mística. Muchas gracias, Rosalía. Have a beautiful, blessed day.